What's up, my crew members? My name is Andrew from the Superhero Crew, and welcome to episode 8 of Comic Talk. This is the show where I talk about the comics that I decided to get this week. And today, we're talking about JLA number 21, Wonder Woman number 37, Invincible Iron Man number 595, and Doomsday Clock number 2. So let's talk. Alright, so let's talk about JLA number 21. This series has had some ups and it's had some downs. Enter the Microverse was very, it was very stretched out. It was longer than it needed to be. But then the last arc with Prometheus was a little bit better than Enter the Microverse. But you know what? I had faith in JLA. And this issue, I'm very happy with this issue. In this issue, well, during the Prometheus arc, the Ray just left. He decided to leave, and he got mad at the JLA. And he goes back to his home city, Vanity, and he's talking to Xenos, who I guess is he's kind of in a relationship, I guess. And Xenos is basically telling him, you need to go back to the JLA. They care about you. And Ray's like, no, I don't want to. And Xenos says, okay, well, I will. And then he leaves. And then a new hero shows up and attacks Ray named Aztec. So this girl, Nayeli Constant, was a software engineer. And the helmet that she has on, the war helmet, flies through the window and started talking to her and explained to her, my last master died trying to fight Tezcatlipoca, some god. And so now this Nayeli Constant woman basically improved the armor, made the armor better, and is protecting the city of Vanity. Then this guy has these cops held hostage, and the captain is this guy's father. Then Aztec and the Ray go to this guy, save the hostages, beat up the guy with the skull. And Aztec is basically saying, after they beat up this guy and save the hostages, the Aztec is basically like, you left to go help the JLA, and now I'm here, and this is my city. But then they kind of, they team up, they fight the guy, and then they just talk it out. Then the Atom and Killer Frost, they have a conversation, and the Atom is like, no, you're not a monster, and then he tries to go in for a little kiss, and then, Killer Frost friend zones him, of course. And they actually have to sleep in the same room. Killer Frost has a dream. She wakes up, and she goes to the JLA, and then all of a sudden, she's cured. She's cured. She has no frost powers anymore. Her skin isn't blue. She is cured. So that was JLA number 21, a cliffhanger, and I cannot wait to see what happens next. Finally, Killer Frost has been cured. Through all this stuff that she's been going through, she has finally been cured. Maybe she can get with Ryan, I don't know. But we'll see what happens. And I'm also excited, will they continue with Ray and Aztec's kind of, superhero relationship they have, how they're fighting crime in the city of Vanity, and I want to see what happens with that. I hope they just don't stop talking about that and stop showing what happens with those two, but I also want to see what happens with Killer Frost and the Atom and what happens with that. Probably the next issue will focus more on Killer Frost being cured. So that was JLA number 21. Let's go on to Wonder Woman number 37. So this is the conclusion to the Children of the Gods story arc that has been going on in the Wonder Woman series, which has been okay, I guess, but this issue puts the icing on the cake. This is a really good issue. Zeus and Darkseid have an all-out battle, and Darkseid has been kind of holding his own against Zeus, but then he reveals that he's been siphoning Zeus's powers so that he can beat Zeus and take his power, and he does. Then Darkseid is a fully grown adult, like how he usually is. So now he's not a kid anymore, and he kills Zeus, and Wonder Woman is obviously mad, and she starts charging at Darkseid, and I'm thinking to myself, where the hell's the Justice League? If Darkseid is here and fighting Zeus, don't you think the Justice League should show up? And they actually do, and I was very surprised. Even though they don't say any words, the Justice League actually shows up. And that's kind of interesting because usually when something big is going on, they show up later or not at all. When something big is going on, the Justice League might not even show up. But in this, Darkseid's here, the Justice League actually shows up, and he goes, oh, alright, well, Grail, come on, let's go back to Apocalypse. And they leave through a boom tube. And Jason, Wonder Woman's brother, apologizes for everything that's been going on, and he apologizes for basically betraying her. So that's it for Wonder Woman number 37. This is a solid conclusion to this arc. I really like this issue right here. An awesome, awesome fight between Zeus and Darkseid. But what's going to happen now? Darkseid is back. Is there going to be some kind of crossover event between the Justice League, Wonder Woman, and Superman and Batman book? Are they going to have like a completely new event? What's going to happen now? But yeah, guys, that was Wonder Woman number 37. Let's go on to Invincible Iron Man number 595. So this is part 3 of the Search for Tony Stark arc. I've been kind of not been caring about Riri Williams. I thought she was a cool character when she first had her series, and then now with Marvel Legacy it kind of died down. Now I'm just kind of reading this to see what happens with Tony Stark. So Dr. Doom is basically giving exposition to this woman named Amara. I don't know exactly who she is. Was she Dr. Doom's lover? I didn't read Infamous Iron Man, so I don't know if she's a person from Infamous Iron Man, but she has prenatal pills. And Dr. Doom's like, oh, and then he leaves. So Riri Williams goes back to her house and finds these people from Stark Industries going through her stuff and trying to take stuff to bring back to Stark Industries. And the Stark Board of Directors is saying, no, your suit is technically stolen property. And Riri says, you need to get out because you're in Chicago. And then the main woman Stark person is like, what does that mean? And they give her and Riri and her mom give her a look. So little joke there. And then Riri says, yeah, you know we have 17 cameras in here, so you better get out or we're going to release this to the public. And then they tell him to get out. Then we cut to like that weird naked bald person that crawled into the Iron Man suit. We find out that that's actually Tony Stark, and his mom actually finds him, and they have a conversation, and they make a joke like, oh, you don't have your beard, your goatee's gone. And then Tony's mom is about to say something about Tony's dad, and then MJ runs in and is like, yeah, you know, everybody's looking for you, you know, you're back, this and that. And then Tony Stark's mom is like, you know, you inspire a lot of loyalty, Tony. And Tony's in like a bed, in a bed, and then he says, oh my god, you came. And then basically the Avengers, or most of the Marvel characters, show up, and then Rhodey shows up, who actually died in Civil War II. But then we find out that all was a dream, and Tony Stark is still in his Iron Man suit, trying to do whatever, seemingly heal. And some supervillain named the Hood shows up and points guns at Dr. Doom. But then Dr. Doom leaves. Then Tony Stark's mom is on like a video call with a bunch of superheroes saying, have you found him yet? And they're all like, no, sorry, we can't find Tony. And then Friday brings the AI Tony Stark to Mary Jane and his mom as they are talking about the cameras in the garage of Riri Williams' house. And then Friday asks Tony, hey, do you know where Tony Stark is? And Tony Stark's AI says, yeah, but to be fair, nobody really asked me. And then the issue ends. So, I guess next issue they will find Tony Stark finally. This issue was better than the other ones, I have to say. I'm caring less about Riri Williams, but caring about Tony's mom and how they're gonna find him. And also, I'm kind of liking Dr. Doom and his kind of mini arc that's going on in Invincible Iron Man. So that's it for Invincible Iron Man number 595. Now let's go on to Doomsday Clock number 2.
Alright, so let's talk about Doomsday Clock number 2. in this, Ozzy with Rorschach and the mime and the girl, they come through, basically take Night Owl's ship, they come through, and they are in the DC universe. When they get there, the whole plan is that Ozzy was going to go talk to Lex Luthor, and then Rorschach is going to go speak to Bruce Wayne, who is Batman. Basically Batman. They say those are the two smartest guys in the world, so they're talking back and forth. You know, a lot of banter back and forth. There's really not too much. It's more Luthor and Ozzy talking, and then you see Rorschach meets Batman, so it's like, it's pretty cool. But at the very end, the comedian shows up. And I think this is really good because in Watchmen, the comedian was all flashbacks. But in this, maybe the comedian comes back now. You know, who knows how he comes back? They're probably going to explain it later.
Dr. Manhattan probably maybe
right
brought him back because, you know, we saw Dr. Manhattan. He showed up and then pretty much left. Mm-hmm. And comedian shot Lex Luthor as well. And mm-hmm. And then he's like, he says, oh, I was drunk and messed up and tired, but now I'm ready to fight you again, Ozzy. And,
well, and if you read the original Watchmen, what happens is the whole thing starts off with the comedian is just kind of in his apartment, and he has this huge fight, and then he gets thrown out of a window, and then you go through the whole Watchmen, and you find out at the very end that it was Ozzy throwing him out the window because he had this grand scheme, which is the whole basis of the Watchmen book. At the end of the book, when the comedian comes out, they have these, like, you're reading the net and you're seeing news and stuff. So I kind of skimmed through it.
Yeah, I skimmed through it. They had that in Watchmen, mm-hmm. when they have like papers and like news articles about certain things, just to give you the background of certain things. But
that's like if you were searching for something or you're reading, you're doing your detective work.
And I like that. It's cool. And
yeah, it's a lot to read though. It's almost 3 comic books in 3 pages. It's really a lot to read. But all in all, I got to tell you, I did like Doomsday Clock. I like where it's going. I like the comedian shows up. And it's funny because we would always say that, well, you'd think that Ozzy is based on Lex Luthor and Rorschach is based on Batman because they're basically the same. They don't really have superpowers, but he has a few gadgets. You know, obviously not as many as Batman, but Rorschach has some gadgets, and he's a crime fighter, and he knows he's not above the law, but he knows that it's important to be this crime fighter. He's trying to make a difference, exactly like Batman. The only thing Rorschach does cross the line, the killing line.
Yeah, and also Gotham is trying to get rid of Batman. They're starting to not like Batman a lot, and they're getting annoyed.
Protests and stuff.
Yeah, there's protests and stuff.
And Bruce Wayne's saying that it's too bad. They don't know what's good for them. They do need him.
Yeah.
So, but all in all, it was a great issue. Comedian coming back. Let's see what happens in the modern day.
Yeah, I thought it was good too. It's hard to say what I think about it because nothing can compare to Watchmen, the original Watchmen. What are they going to do with this? Mm-hmm. Comedian's back. Does that ruin Watchmen or does that make Watchmen better?
Right.
How is this going to work? Honestly, I think the way that we will tell is if we read issue 12 then we know.
Yeah, we have no choice but to read it. But yeah, hopefully he comes back and it's going to be a cool deal.
Yeah, and they've done like other Watchmen books like before Watchmen. And I don't think that's really. I haven't read any of them, but like I've heard that they're not that good. But Jeff Johns is taking over, and he's doing all this. I think that this is going to work out really, really well. Right. And so far, it has. So what would you give Doomsday Clock number 2?
I'm thinking I'm giving it a 8 because the story it's intriguing and the artwork was really good. I really enjoyed the artwork.
Yeah, the artwork is fantastic. Writing is great. I would have to give it an 8.5 out of 10 because I think that Jeff Johns is really doing this well. As a sequel, like a direct sequel to Watchmen. I think he's doing it really well. And I hope it stays very well as also. So guys, JLA number 21, pretty good issue, liking what's going on. So for JLA number 21, I would have to give it an 8 out of 10. And for this epic conclusion of Children of the Gods, Wonder Woman number 34, I would have to give it an 8.5 out of 10. So for Invincible Iron Man number 595, it doesn't deserve an 8, and it doesn't deserve a 7.5, so I would have to give it a 7.8 out of 10. Alright guys, hope you guys had a good new year. Please like the video if you like it, comment if you have any questions, and subscribe for more comic-based videos, and I will see you in the next one.